Vortex here, and welcome to my review of the KZ ZEX. These are the rose gold ones, so they look a bit funky. And yeah, as usual, full disclaimer is these were sent out to me by Linsol to review, so thank you very much. I was not paid to do this video, and all the thoughts and opinions are my own. And I've also reviewed the CCA NRI, which I'll link in the top corner. And yeah, so let's just get into it. So they come in the typical kind of KZ packaging, which is the same as the CCA packaging. It also comes in black, which I think might be the better pick. Here, what the rose gold look like, which I'll show you in a bit. So mine is the no mic version, which I do prefer, which I've said many times. It's a new star in the hi-fi world, KZ Electrostatic Earphone Series debut, dual unit, electrostatic and dynamic hybrid. They are technically magneto or magnetostatics, so nothing there. And yes, the specs are kind of normal. 25 ohm impedance, 103 decibels sensitivity. It's missing a Y there, which they should add on. Frequency range, which is kind of big, 20 Hz to 40 kHz. 0.75 pin type. And the plug's 3.5, it's all typically normal. Some information. Website, which is kind of cool. Pass QC, and let's see what you actually get. Oh yeah, and ding ding ding, they're missing, but I actually have been using them. They are right here, which I'll show you in a second. And yeah, so I'm going to a bit of editing, and let's see what we actually get. So you get typical kind of information, just a user guide that's in English. In here are small and large tips, which are the same that's already kind of fitted. Comes with mediums fitted, which I will have a look at in a second. And you get this cable, which I think it looks exactly the same as the CCA one, which I presume they are, because they are very, very, very similar. But yeah, I'll open that up in the next clip and see what it's actually like. And that's onto the earbuds themselves. So as you can see, mine are the funky rose gold ones. Now a key thing compared to the CCA model, which I've just got off camera, is they use different tips. These use the conventional Starline tips, but the CCA uses the smaller, like shallower ones. But I'll discuss the differences in a separate video just between themselves. But yeah, that's what they look like. So the normal KZ QDC, I think it is, or C-type connectors they call them. You can this case is really well. The shell is really clear. You can see the DD there. Obviously the magnetostatic driver at the top. So obviously it's the same setup as the NRI, or extremely close. And yeah, so next clip, I'm going to see if that cable's any good. I presume it's the same as the CCA NRA's cable. That's on to the review of these little bad boys here. And yeah, let's carry on. So as you can see, right angle connector, which I prefer. This section's for the people who haven't really seen any other KZ or CC kind of videos. You can always skip this if you want to, but this is what actually comes with the ZEX. And it may come with the ZEX Pro, because that's a very new release as when I made this as well. So flexible, it's a thin cable, kind of a flat cable, as you can see. But it seems, yeah, for after, because I've only just typically unwound this, they are fine really, they're not too bad at all. It's good to see even at the lower end the cables are getting better. So obviously you can see there, that one's right. And yeah, they do the job. You can always get another cable if you want, say you want something balanced, but for an included cable, they do work fine. And the actual hook mechanism is soft enough. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, let's get on to the review. So finally on to the review of the KZ ZEX. Obviously one of the funky rose gold colour, but I think the black ones do look pretty awesome. So yeah, let's give you a quick look over. Let's take these tips off. So yeah, is a key thing compared to the CCA's twin. These have the proper Starline tips, which I do like. So this is obviously the right unit. Build is perfectly fine. I like that it's very clear, you can see everything. So I guess the crossover's behind the dynamic. I can't really see. Obviously you can see the wires, like the red one there. Nozzle, you can see the little lip to keep the tip on. All perfectly fine for the actual price. So let's get on to comfort and the fitment of them. I found these very good. Like its twin, I had no issues at all, apart from the difference of tips, which may or may not affect you. It's good, no issues at all. And yeah, let's just get straight on to isolation. His isolation again was actually okay, just like its twin. It's very good. It's not amazing like some units are, because it has to breathe because it's got a DD. But yeah, it's fine. I had no issues with kind of that at all. Power and sensitivity. So it states on the box they look harder to drive, but in reality they seem easier than what they actually suggest, which is kind of cool. So long as you've got a decent enough cell phone, you can actually power these without any issues, which is kind of cool. Let's get on to actual sound. So now I'm going to overlay the graph. Again, very similar to the CCA, but there's some differences, but I'll do a separate video. So let's talk about bass. As you can see, it is elevated. It does have a bit of sub bass roll off, but my coupler rolls off more than it actually has. So that mine rolls off at ends probably about 50, 57, 58. But in reality, it's probably close to 60. But that's just how my coupler works. So it has elevator low end, so it is a fun they do a fun bass, shall we say. I wish the texture of the low end was a little bit better, like its twin, but it's fine again for the price. I don't really see any issues or anything like that. And yeah, so the actual speed of the driver they use is fine, really. It's not the fastest, not the slowest, but its projected price point, I'm perfectly happy with it. So mids, let's start with the low part. There is a bit of bleed, as you can see. It depends on depends on what you actually listen to, but some of that will help it not sounding thin. It all depends on your music and your actual use case, because not everybody uses these for music. People use these for a variety of things, even for gaming, podcasts, or so on and so forth. But yeah, that's what they look like in the mids. The lower part, then upper mids, is elevated, as you can see. They don't really sound that shouty. It is more forward than I'd probably like. But I've heard things a lot more shouty than this. But it's fine. It's fine in my kind of tolerance. I wouldn't want it anymore. I'm kind of happy with what it is. But the mids, apart from that, are fine. Really, I have no issues with that. And that's what, yeah. So again, very similar to its twin, this CCA NRI. So treble, so there's a lot, as you say, the lower treble is still elevated from the upper mids. Again, no issues. So vocalists sound forward and things like that. There's a few treble spikes going on, like on its twin. So it may need a little bit of EQ just to keep the treble a bit controlled. But I do like that it doesn't roll off, but it doesn't have a crazy amount. So some parts may affect you. So there's a peak around the 5K. Normally that's kind of the sibilance region, but I didn't really seem to get any. But it may vary on what you're actually listening to, like your source and things like that. Always use the best quality that you can. But the treble, again, is kind of fine. It's a bit peaky, so you just have to bear that in mind. But instruments all sound very clear. Micro details I thought was actually pretty good as well. Not amazing, but more than acceptable for the actual price of these. So that's one thing to bear in mind. And yeah, obviously the 8K big peak is from the measurement, so just please ignore that. It's just how the coupler measures it. But on the whole, the treble region is fine. I like that it's actually got enough treble. It's not crazy bright, but then it's not really dark. It has enough treble, and it's got good details in the treble. So that's one thing I'm quite happy with. I've tried this with a bunch of different genres, and it seems to work fine for pretty much most of them. And yeah, so a couple of things to note is there's parts that don't really sound natural. Again, its twin has the same kind of issue. I think it's that magneto driver they use. It can sound unnatural. Just depends on what you're actually listening to. But yeah, the overall sound I'm quite happy with. Again, they are very similar to its twin, which I was quite happy with as well. But they got good details, everything. I was quite happy with it. I'd probably wish there's a bit less bass bleed and maybe more sub bass to at least bring it level. But maybe there's a model that may fix that. But again, these are on the cheaper side. There was $22 on launch. In sales and events, they might be able to get them cheaper than that, so just bear that in mind. But yeah, I'm quite happy with them. So overall, I do like them. I'm just going to give another quick look. The camera will focus. So yeah, no issues at all. Good kind of build, fit, finish. I'm quite happy with the sound. It just sounded a bit coloured, but again, you can always read that from the graph. Oops, I just dropped that one. Being clumsy, but yeah, that's what they look like. I like the finish. I do like the funky colour, but these do look awesome in black. And yeah, just have a good look at it. I do like what they've done is they've released it a bit different. Because they've done the hybrid thing a million times, like the 1DD, 1BA, which is typically this kind of price. But it's good to say they've done something different. And obviously, when I've done this video, they've released the ZEX Pro, which is meant to be the same combo with a balanced armature, which means it's a tribrid for just over $30, which is crazy kind of value. But I don't have that one yet, so I don't know what that one's going to be like. But yeah, conclusion is, like its twin, I think them pretty good. The sound is a bit coloured. It can sound a little bit unnatural, which I think is the magneto driver on the top. But I do appreciate what they have done, you know, obviously because it's very cost effective, and I do like it's a little bit different. I think it sounds pretty good. It doesn't sound amazing, but I do like what it sounds like. And yeah, I think that's going to be pretty much it. So yeah, as usual, thanks very much for watching and take care. Hopefully I do try the ZEX Pro in the future, but yeah, let's see what happens. Take care.